Samson, I have to admit, is a difficult figure to understand when it comes to thinking of him as a righteous man, as it says he is in Hebrews 11:32. For just a glimpse into his mishaps that brings his status into question is, how could he get entangled with someone like Delilah? And more than that, how could he, from her continual nagging and from her same offense repeated against him day after day for several days in a row, not see through her deception? Especially when each event ended with her commandants attempting to bind Samson, revealing the real motive Delilah had for wanting to know the secret of his strength. All this leading to Samson eventually doing damage to the call God had on his life to be a Nazirite. This, with the myriad of other shenanigans, how could Samson make it into the Hall of Faith in Hebrews chapter 11? In other words, how could he be called a righteous man? Well, that question will have to be answered, but before it can be, we need to first answer this question. What is the prophecy of Samson? And you may find that answer to be surprising. The first place to look is in Judges chapter 13, verses 16 through 21, where the angel of Yahweh appears to Manoah and his wife, the parents of Samson. The angel of Yahweh appears to Manoah's wife and tells her that she is going to give birth to a son, and that the son is going to be a Nazirite from birth. The angel went on to say that no razor was supposed to touch Samson's head, and that Manoah's wife was not to take anything from the vine, drink strong drink, or eat anything unclean. The first time the angel appeared to her was when she was not with her husband, and so she went to go tell Manoah about what the angel had said. In response, Manoah prayed, asking for the man of God to be sent again to teach them what the boy was going to do. God answered Manoah's prayer, but not in the way he thought. Shortly after that, the angel of Yahweh appeared to Manoah's wife while she was without her husband. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, this time she went to go get her husband, and he came to see the angel of Yahweh. While talking with him, Manoah asked him two questions. First he asked him, "What is your name?" Then he asked if he could make a sacrifice offering to him. The response Yahweh gives is curious. He spoke to Manoah saying, "Why do you ask my name, seeing that it is wonderful?" Verse 18. But what does he mean, seeing that it is wonderful? Well, the King James Version uses the word secret, and the Hebrew word is pali. However, this Hebrew word has more the meaning of something being wonderful. It is a word that has the meaning of our English word wonderful, along with the idea of something being incomprehensible. When we speak of something being secret, it is because it is something you know nothing about. But this word, pali, is more with the idea of something you do know, but what you do know about it is not fully comprehensible. It is not fully comprehensible to the point where it is full of wonder. And the reason it is important to translate this Hebrew word as wonderful is because of what the text says about what the angel did. It says that the angel of Yahweh did wondrously, verse 19. And that leads us into the next question that Manoah asked the angel. The second question Manoah asked was if he could make a sacrifice to the angel of Yahweh. What was the angel's response? It was that Manoah was not to make the sacrifice to him. This is understood by what the angel said when he replied, "If you offer a burnt offering, you must offer it to Yahweh." Verse 16. Then as Manoah made the sacrifice, it says that the angel of Yahweh ascended in the flames. He did this indicating that he was the sacrifice. And the text affirms that what he had done was something done wondrously. Why is this significant? Well, it is because of what the book of John declares in the first chapter, when it reads, "In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, the Word was God, and the Word became flesh." Well, Yeshua is the Word. Yeshua existed before he was born, and he took on a man's body, otherwise known as his incarnation. This is unlike us who do not exist prior to our conception and physical birth. And when Yeshua made himself known to his people before his incarnation, he did this in the form of an angel. Not an angel in the sense of being one created in an angelic form, but an angel in the sense of the meaning of this word in its original language. That meaning being someone, whether man or angel, who brings a message. So when Yeshua wanted to give a message to his people, Manoah and his wife in this case, he came to them as the angel of Yahweh, or the messenger of Yahweh, declaring what was going to happen when he eventually did come to earth to take on the form of a man. The time when he came to be the sacrifice for the sin of those who trust in him. This also is why it says in Isaiah 9:6, "Unto us a child is born, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God." So just like Manoah, who after witnessing the angel of Yahweh declared that he had just seen God, so it is with anyone who honestly seeks to know Yeshua in the Gospels. There has never been anyone in any time throughout history and in any country of the world who has ever talked like Yeshua did, and there is no one who ever did what he did. And there is no living person out there who can honestly read the four Gospels and not come to the absolute conclusion that Jesus is Almighty God in the form of human flesh. That is if one is being sincerely honest. Yeshua gave his life as a sacrifice to deliver us, whether Jew or Gentile, from sin and death, as it says in Romans 5:7-8. Quote, "Perhaps someone might dare to die for a good man, but God demonstrates his own love toward us, in that while we were still sinners, Yeshua died for us." Unquote. It is through the power of his death and his coming back to life again that he offers anyone who comes to him life, peace, and joy. In fact, he offers a joy that is so wonderful that it is sometimes also not fully comprehensible. As it says in Ephesians 3:19, Yeshua's love surpasses all knowledge. It is something that needs to be accepted by faith based on what we already do know to be true about him. So to answer the question that was at the beginning of this discussion, how can Samson be called a righteous man? Well, it is just like those who have believed in the Lord Yeshua the Messiah, how they are declared righteous. It's not, or isn't that right? Just like Samson, it is not because of anything righteous that we have done, but because of Yahweh's mercy towards us, as it says in Titus 3:5, how we are declared by faith to be righteous in God's sight. So the real question really is, how can you, the sinner that you are, be called righteous? Well, it is only through knowing the Word and trusting in the finished work of the Jewish Messiah, Yeshua. Samson too had faith in God's deliverance. The question is, do you? Get to know the Word. He truly is wonderful. If you have any questions or comments, send them to knowtheword@theworldisonfire.com, and I will reply to them the best that I can.